Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? Happy Saturday. This is Friday's vlog. I went to bed early again last night. I know some people are kind of tired of the daytime vlogs, but I have to say, like, getting a full night's rest has been so nice for me. I'm still such a night owl that I like to stay up late, but it's been nice for me to, a couple nights of the week, you know, go to bed when Alex does and just like sleep straight through the night. So last night, Friday night, it was such an exciting Friday night. I was, oh, I was gonna say I was in bed by 11. Alex went to bed at 11. I called Tanya and we talked on the phone for about a half an hour or so, and then I went to bed. So I was in bed by about 11:30. And then I got up this morning and did a bunch of stuff around the house. It is raining like crazy. And it was 79 yesterday, it's 59 today, but it's still really nice out. I have shorts on, and that is the sound of strong, muscular thighs right there. If you believe it, you will achieve it. So anyway, I had a great day yesterday. The day before, which would have been Thursday night, was that when I vlogged? I vlogged that night, and then when I got done, I started listening to, well, I started really getting into, I had already started listening to it, People Who Eat Darkness, which is the March book for True Crime Book Club. We're having our live stream on Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so please come over if you're part of the book club or you just want to see what it's all about. And I literally listened to half the book. I could not believe it, because I was really worried. I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to listen to 2 hours each day. And then yesterday I didn't listen to like any, well, because I didn't vlog last night, I didn't listen to any of the book yesterday, except for when I was driving around during the day running errands and going to the grocery store to get some food for last night and stuff like that. And but the night before, I literally listened to half the book. It is so good. It is so different than anything that we have read before in a true crime book club. I didn't know anything about this case, and it's extremely interesting. I think I'm going to do a book vlog about it, so maybe I won't. I'm not going to talk too much about it. But it's about this girl that was from London, and she went to Tokyo with a friend of hers to basically work as a hostess in these bars to pay off debt. And then she went missing, and I'm not to the point yet where they find her, but she is murdered. So anyway, it's this case about this, and then it goes in and does the backstory of the guy that like murders her and stuff. But I'm not to the where they're talking about him, but I'm not to the part where they're talking about like finding her yet. But it's really interesting because it goes in and it talks about the whole like underground business of hostessing versus escorting versus dancing in Tokyo, and there's like this line dividing each of them. And so it's very interesting about this whole description of it. And the author, I think his name is Richard Lloyd Perry, maybe is his name, I think. The way that he discusses all of this is very interesting and relates it to the history of Tokyo. So it's a fantastic book. So anyway, yeah, I listened to that, and then yesterday I just did a bunch of stuff and filmed videos, and then Alex, he had a bunch of work stuff he had to do today, so he was going to bed early last night. So we were gonna watch a movie, and I ended up going to Meijer to get some food, and he wanted golden Oreos and chips and salsa, so I brought him that, which he did. He ate like 2 Oreos, and that was all he had of that because he was having popcorn. But instead we watched The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Well, I only caught the tail end of it. And then we watched RuPaul's Drag Race, which we almost never watch at the night that it comes out. So we're totally caught up, which is great. And it was a good episode. It was very emotional. I was crying at the end a lot. Well, it was the last episode. Not the last one, not the finale, but it was the episode where they bring out the pictures, you know, of them when they were kids, and they asked them what they would say to themselves back then. And it's always very emotional to me. I think about that a lot. You know, I think about like what I would say to myself at like 5 years old. It's so weird. I can see a picture of myself in my head, like a school picture, you know? And, I didn't think about that last night. It's funny, like watching it, like I usually do think about that, you know, but I guess I didn't think about it. Maybe I did. Maybe that's what got me so emotional last night about it. I don't know. About what I would say to myself, you know? I usually always do when I watch that part. I always think of myself, like, as a little kid, and I think it was what Simone was saying, and she was talking about being lonely and how hard it would be, and that kids would tell you, you know, that it wasn't okay to be feminine, and she was talking about it in reference to being, like, black and gay, and being black and feminine, and I was like, I'm gonna vlog today, and I'm gonna, like, I don't know, tell funny stories or something on here today, because I've gotten real deep, you know, in the last week. I think the thing that sucks the most about, like, everything I've gone through in my life is that it took me as long as it did to be okay with myself. I think that's the thing that's the hardest, you know, that, like, God, it's really windy over there. And then I'm still not, you know, okay with myself, I think. Like, I'm better than I was, you know, a year ago, and I was better a year ago than I was 5 years ago and all that. But it's like, it seems like it takes a very short period of time when we're growing up, you know, for this stuff to happen to us where we feel this way about ourselves. And then it's like, I mean, literally by 5, 6, 7, 8, like, I already had this very negative view of myself based on things that my peers would say to me. So what, it took 2 to 3 years for me to have this negative tape run in my head. But then it's taken me 40 years to unwind that tape and start developing a new tape. Like, that's a lot of missed time based on then they talk about, like, it's interesting to me because they talk about foundation years, you know, and look at the sky. Can you guys see it? I turned the camera around the other day, and when I was, like, watching, well, I wasn't watching the whole vlog back, but when I was putting it together, I was like, oh my God, the sky is so beautiful. You can see it. It reminded me of that one episode of Roseanne with the tornado, you know? But they talk about foundation years of being, like, those years when... That was my shoe. When kids, you know, learn the most, or their philosophical beliefs, like how they're, that's when they're, you know, set in place and things like that. And you think about being bullied from a young age during your fundamental foundation years, right? That it would make sense then that you couldn't unwind that, you know, all those years later. And then you look at people that are highly confident and you wonder, well, how did their foundation years look different than mine did? You know, what's interesting about it to me is that oh, it's really coming down. What's interesting to me is that even though at school I was criticized and bullied, at home I was just loved unconditionally and encouraged to, be whatever I wanted to be. And I was supported. So it's interesting why what my peers were saying to me meant more to me than what my family was saying to me or showing to me through love, and support. I'm gonna pull into this strip mall over here because it is like really coming down. Is that hail? Hail, yes. You guys see this? Look. Hard rain's gonna fall. I'm gonna park over here until it slows down a little bit. But yeah, it's crazy, that's like, my parents and friends of my parents and my aunt and uncle and everybody, were so completely supportive of me and just loved me, unconditionally. And I was always like told to follow my dreams and do what I love. And it's like, I was never made fun of at home for being too effeminate or if I wanted to, dress up in women's clothes, or if I wanted to put on a show, or if I wanted to, do whatever. It's like, that was all like supported and encouraged. And I don't really remember having a lot of teachers that frowned upon it. It was the students, but it was the teachers that, like little dots on my windshield. Oh, that's weird. I need to clean my windshield. But it was like, the teachers didn't do anything to say anything was wrong with it, Like, they didn't say, like, when somebody would make fun of me, they didn't say, like, leave Peter alone, or, we're not going to condone this, or go to the principal's office. So it almost felt to me as if the teachers were condoning it, So it was this dichotomy between me going to school, me being at home, and who I was at home was this, there was nothing wrong with me, to going to school where everything was wrong with me. And I don't know that I really could make sense of it, except that I do think that it made sense to me about safe places. I don't know. Let's go in and, what is this? Email and message. Let's go in and read some of the comments from the vlog. Haven't done that in a while. I can't believe the rain is coming down so hard. And of course, if you're gonna read comments, You need a little bit of lip gloss. I'll tell you what I don't think I'm going to need for the rest of the day is my sunglasses. I left my other pair of sunglasses over at my cousin's house, and I'm keeping the case out here to remind myself. This is actually not the Celine, this is the Moon, and I really kind of like it. Okay. Monet said, hello Peter, I love going to Barnes & Noble. There is this incredible smell when you open the door of books and coffee inside. I love going there on weekends. I have been reading some really good books lately. Oh yay! Okay. Sarah said, if your internet router is accessible, you could plug your computer. Oh, I didn't think about that to make it go faster. Okay, thank you. Marilyn said, oh hey Marilyn. Marilyn said, I find these blogs so calming for some reason. Just hearing your voice is magical to me. Aww. Diana put blue hearts, smiley face emojis, and blue hearts. Halo Vlog said, you're all you've got, and I cried. Thank you, Peter. You are the right person that I have been waiting so I can believe in myself. Aww. To whatever goals I want to accomplish. Your presence and sharing your experience going through rough times and good times make this world a better place. Keep on inspiring. Aw, thank you so much. Jamie put a bunch of blue hearts and said, love you, Peter. Ricky said, I work overnights and you keep me company every night. When I wake up, I start with the drama channel, then the review channel, vlog, and does stuff channel when I'm at work. Appreciate your honesty and positivity, both things the world needs more of. Oh, thank you so much. Well, my review is already done for the day. I reviewed the Rose Gold Refresher at Starbucks today. And then Stephanie said, good talk, like a swift kick in the pants to be your best. Stephanie, I was just talking about you the other day to a friend of mine. And we were talking about you because Stephanie was one of my good GDs in high school. So, all positive, all positive. Then Karen, hey Karen! Karen is now the, she is the collector of comments in the comment section of the live stream. So she like monitors what everybody's talking about over there. So this is something that we started on the live book club, but we asked Karen, we're trying to come up with other like positions for other people so that everybody feels like they're included in one way or another in the book club, so we can make it more, you know, inclusive. And because it's like everybody's book club, not just Mel and I's, you know. And so we reached out to Karen because she's super active like in the comment section. So there's a live stream going on, like us talking, and then there's comments on the side. And so we asked Karen if she could, like, you know, kind of like write down, or she's doing a spreadsheet, actually, of everything that's being said. And then at the end of it, we bring Karen in, and she'll say, like, well, Judy Smith brought up this point, and whatever. And we're so thankful to Karen for that. So, love you, Karen. She put blue hearts, I need to reach out to her before the live stream tomorrow. Blue hearts by Elise Maricela, blue hearts. It looks like dogs or foxes, blue hearts, a sun, a sunflower, and a peace emoji. Blue hearts by Nick. Kara said, I appreciate you being here for me the last couple years. I love you beyond measure. Oh my God, thank you. Charlotte said, I love it. Okay, so the other night when I was vlogging, there was the sound of a train in the background. She said, I love the sound of trains. I live by busy train tracks and I open my windows at night so I hear the click, clack, and horns. I also fall asleep listening to your vlogs. I have to hear your voice. It brings me so much comfort. I love you, Peter. Thank you, Charlotte. I really appreciate that. You guys, you want to know, I got a comment on my drama video the other day. I don't know what it was. I think it was either maybe it was my Peterism's channel. I've talked there before that, I've talked on here as well, that there was a period on YouTube when I would get really, like at the beginning, when I got really nasty comments about my voice, and I've always like disliked my voice. Until recently, until the last couple years, and YouTube has allowed me to hear my voice as it is and fall in love with my voice and realize this is my voice and I can't change it. So if I can't change it, I might as well love it, you know, and embrace it. And I do today. But I would get comments on my vlog, and I mentioned this like in a video, I think, recently. I don't know when the comment was, but, and I said that back in the day I would get really harsh comments about my voice, and somebody said, your voice causes my ears to have cancer. And this person responded when I mentioned it in a video recently, and they said, your voice cures ears from having cancer. And I was just like, it meant the most to me because, you know, I don't know, it just kind of took away that comment a little bit. Christine said, hi, all. Peter, Walmart has nice and affordable outdoor furniture. The Better Homes and Gardens line has some very nice choices. Okay, I'm gonna go check them out. Tanya and I usually walk through there. We haven't walked through the Walmart. We haven't been to Walmart. We go to Meijer now. We haven't been to Walmart in forever. Tina said, you're a king, sir. Love you so much. Thanks for always lifting my mood. You guys, if you don't refer specifically to what I'm talking about in a vlog, I do not remember at all. So from yesterday's vlog, Carmen said, I always cry when you bring that woman up. I've only heard you talk about it a few times, but that is so touching to hear about. And I'm like, what did I talk about in the vlog? Like, I don't remember. So, but thank you. Oh, Melissa said, Peter, you'll never know how many people you've helped get through a very long night. You are a blessing. Oh my God. You guys are so kind to me. Magic Me said, I've mostly lost interest in social media. I think that's a step on my journey to become a cranky old brat. Now I have too. Addie said, me too. And Charlotte said, cranky old bat unite. LOL, I live. Aw, Kelly Girl said, we sure do love you, Peter. Okay, let me go through these first and see if there's any questions. Aramis Mom said, I too love the Simone. I was hoping Utica would make it longer. So yeah, Simone's my favorite. I hope she wins. I'm okay. I'm really okay with the top four. I don't know that I would love for Candy Muse to win, but it's whatever. I think she's got a lot of confidence. She's inspiring. I was really hoping for Utica too until the last, when she did the roast. I thought it was cruel-hearted. She apologized for it on Twitter. I think everybody makes mistakes. I think her humor is misunderstood. I think what bothered me the most about it was, even when she was leaving, like, she didn't appear to have realized that her humor during the roast was in ill taste. Like, her roasting reminded me of back in the day of, like, if you ever saw a roast and Lisa Lampanelli was in it. But that stuff doesn't fly. It's not funny. It's cruel today, you know? And the fact that she didn't acknowledge it, in fact, she even said at the end, like, she thinks she would be really good doing roasts later. Like, she didn't really understand, you know, that her jokes were, and they even told her, you know, they were like, you know. So, I don't know. Ben said, I've been getting back into the vlogs. I just love them so much and I've been watching them since day one. I've not seen everyone, but the ones I have seen have really helped me through rough times. Aww. You guys are real. I mean, like, literally every comment is so nice. I'm so glad I found you. Said Aramis Mom. Okay, AKA Constantine said, there was a lot of discussion about when I was talking about the sponsorships and why people don't disclose. She said, or he said, I don't know. I think people don't disclose product sponsors because they don't have enough faith their audience would believe they love the item versus faking it for coin. Whereas I'm actually thinking about looking into those masks you talked about, even knowing you got it for free because I actually trust you, which is this mask right here. I need to look in here and see if I can find, it says on here somewhere, the name of, okay, hold on a second, let me see. Nope, that's not it. I might have to try to reach out to this guy and see. If he knows where I can get more masks. Where am I at on time? I don't want to stop. Yeah, nothing that I'm pulling up. Nothing on the mask that I'm looking up is pulling it up. Not the historic pyramid rendezvous. Not the name, which is nanotechnology. I can't find anything about these masks. So I'm gonna have to reach out to him and see if he can let me know where he got them or where I can get more of these masks. Okay, let's get into. You know, it's interesting that you say that, though, where you say, I think people don't disclose because they don't have enough faith their audience would believe they love the item versus faking for coin. I think the thing is this, right? Then what you're really saying is that the influencer, the YouTuber, the Instagram, or whatever doesn't have faith that their audience has faith in them, is really what you're saying, right? Because, like, for me, when I do, like, a sponsorship, if it's something that I don't really know about and a company contacts me, like, I'll look into it. Or I'll say, hey, if you want to send me these masks, I'll try them out. And if I like them, then yes, I'll do the sponsorship. But if not, I'm not gonna push a product that I don't believe in, right? Okay. But because I don't do sponsorships that I don't believe in, and I believe that my audience believes me about that, or audience, it sounds so phony. I believe that the people that watch my videos believe in me, right? Then I don't question it. You know, it's not like, and there's a couple different, sponsorships that I do regularly, and they're products that I really believe in. And I used to, like, it goes back and forth. Like, sometimes get reached out to, like, on my review channel, I get reached out quite a bit. But it's weird stuff. Like, it's stuff that I wouldn't, well, they don't really want so much a sponsorship as they want to do, like, send me products for review. But it's products that, like, I wouldn't normally review on my channel. So I don't, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like stuff that I would review. And I will tell you what's interesting is that on my review channel, like, people have said, well, why don't you reach out to these companies and ask them if they'll send you, like, a free trial, which I've done to a couple, and nobody will send me a free trial. Well, not nobody, a couple people have. So I end up I'm just gonna buy it. Like, the other day, like, what just came in the mail today? Something, no, it said it was sent today, that I just purchased. What was it? What was it that I just, well, I did, okay, the milk sugars came in the mail, but it was something else that I just bought. Where is it? It was funny because it was something I had forgotten that I had bought. I don't remember. Hold on a second. Well, Javi coffee I bought, and I haven't reviewed it. It's been sitting on my, this other coffee thing. It's called, here's my receipt. Oh, it says macadamia nut honey butter, which keeps on coming up on my Instagram. Then there was something else that I bought. And it stopped. I don't even know when it stopped, but I was talking about all these products that I was saying that I had reached out to, like in the past, it's been a long time, to a couple companies asking them like to send me like, you know, a free bottle of coffee or something. And they're always like, can you send me all of these, they want all these numbers and information, you know, and I'm like, never mind, I'll just buy a bottle of your coffee, okay? It's $10.64. It's really not that big of a deal, you know? So I ended up buying, and I just recently, I bought, hold on a second. I was looking in here to see what I had bought. I bought this Javi coffee. It's sitting on my counter to review. And then I bought, have you guys ever, I'm not gonna review this, but I actually bought it. I bought that, I wanted to see that freckle stuff. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Where you can like do freckles in your face? Because I've always thought freckles were cute. I bought some of that, it hasn't come yet. And then I also bought that Milk Cosmetics. It's like lip tinter and then like face tinter. I saw Justin Anderson using it when he was on vacation. And I was like, oh, I like this. So I wanted to kind of like see it, because it's kind of like being in the sun and stuff. It's supposed to like, it's not like concealer, but it's not rouge. It's kind of like in between. I don't know what it is, but that came and I haven't used that yet. But then I was looking at what I had bought, and I had bought this macadamia nut. It's like peanut butter, but it's macadamia nut. I don't know. I can't pronounce the name of the person who it's by. It's like banana or something like that. But and then the milk sugars just came in the mail, and then there was something else that I purchased. I purchased a bunch of stuff to review for my review channel. So, yeah. I don't know. I don't fault anybody for doing the sponsorships. I mean, like I say, like I don't fault them. Do as many sponsorships as you want. But to me, it comes across as extremely disingenuous when you're like, this is the greatest mask I've ever used in my entire life, and it's still sitting in the plastic, and you're like, you've never used that mask. You know? Could you at least fake it a little bit better for everybody? That's my issue with it, you know? At least fake it and act like you really are into it, you know? But no, they can't do that. That's like why it's so hard for me. Like, okay, because I like Jaclyn Hill, right? I was talking about her the other night on here. She refuses to disclose. She refuses to do it. And I don't know why it is, okay? Jaclyn Hill has enough of a big enough following of people that really love her. People really love Jaclyn Hill. Yes, people are really hard on her. But I think it's because Jaclyn Hill shows so much of herself. You know, I really think that Jaclyn should do more videos where she is just talking with, what do you call it, like Jordan, and hanging around the house and whatever. Because to me, like, that's enjoyable for me to watch. Like, I like that part of Jaclyn, you know? So when she does stuff on her, like, I do not think that Jaclyn Hill is so hard up for money that she'll show like coloring books on her Instagram and put swipe up, and like, I don't believe that she has to make the money off the coloring books. I mean, what are coloring books? $10 or something? That, you know, she's like has to make the money off of that to survive. Like, I don't believe that. I don't believe that Jaclyn Hill is making that. Listen, I have an Amazon account. I have an Amazon store, and I don't push it hardly at all. But it's like, you don't make that much money off of it. Okay, you just don't. I might make $20 a month off of my Amazon store, right? So I don't believe she's making, do I believe she's making okay extra money? Sure, I do, right? First of all, I will tell you that Amazon is very serious about their affiliates disclosing. You have to disclose as an affiliate of Amazon. People are always like, well, why does the FTC not step in? I think the FTC at some point will step in, because they did with Instagrammers, and they started hitting Instagrammers hard. I think with YouTubers, it'll be the same thing. But I think Amazon will hit Jaclyn Hill before the FTC does, because she's not disclosing. And if people complained, you know, it would be a big deal. But, because there's people bigger than Jaclyn Hill that are doing that Amazon stuff. But the thing is this, is that I don't believe that she's making so much money off of coloring books and hair scrunchies and all that kind of stuff that she really cares. And I mean, I think, yes, it's probably a little bit of extra nice money. But do I think that's that big of a deal for her? No. then what I don't understand about that is why not disclose then, okay? Just say this is, you know, and just all she has to do is put hashtag ad on her Instagram story. All she has to do is underneath the, you know, in the video, say, hey, you guys, I'm linking these things, and these are affiliate links, and if you buy from me, I'm going to make some money off of it. I just want to let you know. You don't have to buy it from me. You can go to Amazon and find it yourself, or go to the website and find it yourself, but if you do buy it from my link, I'm going to make a little bit of money off of it. And also, underneath here, all the links that are listed, they're all affiliate links. And then underneath in the description box, she says, you know, just that these are affiliate links. It's really not that big of a deal. I don't really understand why she and other people can't do it. It's like, are you so afraid that people will think you're just trying to make money? Okay, because she gets in a lot of trouble. You know, people are always like, well, Jacqueline only makes a video when she wants to make money. Well, she's trying to do some different things now, you know? So I think people would trust her more if she was honest and authentic and genuine about that stuff, you know? Like, I think that Jacqueline tries hard at people liking her, when I think what she doesn't realize is that people like her anyway. So it's like, you don't have to try hard because people do like you anyway. Just be authentic about this stuff, you know? Then let people make up their mind. There, you've been honest about it. Now people can decide on their own whether they want to, you know? So, and she's not the only one. There's a lot of people that do it. You know, we talk about smaller creators a lot, but, you know, I'll tell you, there's a lot of creators that are sitting, like beauty influencer community, in the beauty influencer community. There's a lot of creators that are sitting out there between 100 and 500,000 subscribers, okay, which is a good amount of subscribers on YouTube. And they're doing videos, let's say 4 to 5 times a week, and they're getting, you know, 30 to 50,000 views a video, which is a lot of views, okay? It's almost 1 million views a month, which is good money on AdSense. And then on top of that, they're doing, like, almost every video or every other video is a sponsored video. And then, I mean, this is for when people are like, you know, should I start a YouTube? I'm like, do it. They're like, people always ask me, is there money to be made on YouTube? Which I think is kind of a sad question. Don't get into it for that, you know. Whatever you do, like my dad always taught me, do what you love and the money will follow. And if the money doesn't follow, then at least you do something that you love. And I think that that's really important, you know. But the thing is that these people that are sitting at like 100 to 500,000 subscribers, it's a good following, you know? But they're not as big as the biggest gurus, so they're not as noticed as that. And it's like, they're almost kind of like in this area where it's like, it's interesting to me that people don't notice. And they do disclose, right? But like every video that almost every video or every other video that they're doing is sponsored. And then their AdSense on top of that, right? And then they're using products in their affiliate links. So they're making money off their affiliate links. And they have a really strong following. Because when you get to that size, you have people that absolutely just like love you for you, right? And they're really nice, and they're not problematic. And people are watching them instead of all these big beauty gurus because they're not problematic, and they're bankrolling. And they're very, very smart because they have built an audience based on being honest and doing what they love. So like with that, I don't have a problem. Get your money, make your money. They're smart. They know what they're doing. You know, I'm not going to name names because then negative attention will be brought to them and people will be like, oh, well, you know, they're just about the money. I don't believe that they're just about the money. I believe they're in it because they're doing what they absolutely love, right? But they've turned it into a successful business. And I think what some people don't realize is that a lot of those YouTubers now might take away the makeup business of like Jacqueline owning Jacqueline Cosmetics or Manny having, you know, Lunar Beauty or whatever, Laura Lee and her businesses. Take away those businesses. Just as influencers, I think a lot of those influencers are making 5 times as much money as those bigger influencers are because they have a solid base of people that believe in them that are buying their products. And so when they hold up a mask, you know, like you cannot get a company to believe this, but like I'll say this to people and they, you know, if it's like something that they reach out to me, I'm like, if I believe in a product, people will believe that because I don't really push products very often. You all know that. I mean, it's the same products that I push. It's this, it's what else? I mean, it's the Lunar Beauty. I mean, I swear to God in this stuff, okay? I love it. There's not another lip gloss I want out there. I found the best lip gloss. I would be surprised if I could ever find another lip gloss at top of that. The Sol de Janeiro lip balm. I mean, you guys, this is literally the smell, the size, how much you get in a component for the price is fantastic. I mean, it's, you know, everything. I push the same things over and over and over again, you know? If you're gonna start a YouTube channel, just be like, I don't know, just be honest about that stuff, you know? And have you ever watched a YouTube video when they're pushing a product and you can tell they could care less about the product? It's so cringe, isn't it? So cringe. One of the reasons why, like with Adam and Eve, I mean, everybody has a sponsorship by them now, but I love working with them. They're so nice. But one of the reasons why I actually took that sponsorship over, at the same time I was reached out to by another website or by another business that was very similar. And I wasn't going to do both of them because they're both so similar. Why I did that one instead of the other one was that... Oh, like, yeah, I do want to say this. It's interesting. Like, there's a lot of people that... I saw this on TikTok. This came up on the Beauty Guru Reddit. I saw it, and I didn't read the whole thing, so I don't really understand that much about it. But they're talking about the NordVPN sponsorships that people are doing right now and that they're not disclosing. I was offered that, and I didn't do it because I had done a Shark VPN. I very rarely will do, like... I might. I'm not going to say that I won't. If I believe in both products, then sure. And if they're like, you know, hey, this banana and that banana, I'll do both of them. You know what I mean? But, I mean, I would do both, and I would not have a problem with that. But I saw that NordVPN sponsorship, like, and you had to disclose. You had to disclose. So I don't know how people are getting away with not disclosing on that. Because typically what happens is you send it to the company, the video, and then they like, not all of them, like with a couple of the companies that I work with, they're like, no, that's fine, you just post it. But with most companies, if you've never worked with them before, like they'll want to see the video before you post it. They'll want to see your description box. And then if you don't do it exactly like they want it, they'll tell you your disclosure needs to, because it's not just about the disclosure, it's also the link to the company, right? So if you don't put that disclosure at the top of they'll tell you, like, you need to do this, or like, no, the video cannot go live. So I don't know how those people are doing it unless they're just so arrogant and entitled that they're posting the video anyway and saying, F you people, I don't care, I'm gonna do what I want. But I can't imagine that those companies would pay them. So, and maybe it wasn't NordVPN that reached out to me, but I think it was. But anyway, there was another company at the same time with Adam and Eve. And I knew Adam and Eve. I'd seen, you know, other people. I'd done sponsorships with them for years. And, and had ordered stuff off of Adam and Eve. But anyway, Adam and Eve is more, one of the things I really like about their website is, and they're not just for couples, they're for singles and solos and men and women too, you know. But one of the things that I liked about them was that they were more couple friendly than the other website that reached out to me. And, I was like, I don't know, it felt more to me like a website that you could sit down with your partner and not get super embarrassed by looking at stuff and being, because I think that those are hard conversations to have when you're talking about intimacy with your partner. You know, listen, we can have those conversations with anybody in the world, not anybody, but I was like, where's that noise coming from? We can have we can have intimate conversations with like our friend, although Tanya and I in 20 some years have never really, I mean, we talk about, you know, intimacy, but we don't talk about specifics. We don't say specific things with each other, you know, we don't need to. I don't find that I need to have those conversations with many of my friends, you know, but, I mean, back in the day, maybe, you know, you'd be like, well, girl, is this dick big? You know what I mean? But like, that, listen, when I was young, I can't believe that just came out of my mouth. But back in the day when I was young. But today, I don't have those conversations with my friends. But you know, I think the thing is that it's, sometimes I think, like this was one of the things that was really helpful about marriage counseling for us is that we can talk about intimacy with our friends. We can talk about intimacy sometimes with total strangers. Sometimes the hardest people to talk about intimacy with is our partners. You know, to sit and look at our partner and say, you know, hey, I really want to try this, or no, I'm not comfortable trying that, or, you know, like, what do you think about this? Or this is something that I really like and you've never done this, or this is, you know, would you do this? Or thanks for doing that. Or, you know what I mean? Like, and I think sometimes we don't know how to have those conversations, which I think those are conversations that need to be having, especially if you're in a monogamous relationship and you're with your partner, and you should feel safe to try things, or feel safe to say, no, I don't feel comfortable doing that, which is, you should feel comfortable doing that with your partner. If they're, you know, you have a right to say, I don't want to try this, like, I don't like this, and I don't, you know, I don't find that, you know, that's not something that makes me feel comfortable. Because I think to have a great, you know, intimate life, physically intimate, like I've talked about the 12 forms of intimacy, but to have a great physical intimate life, you have to feel comfortable with your partner. You have to feel comfortable in bed, you know? So that was one of the things that I liked about the website, was being able, that I felt like it was approachable as a couple to sit down and say, hey, this might be fun to try, or what do you think about this? Or, you know, and I've had couples, friends of mine, that have come to me and they haven't told me everything that they've ordered, you know. A couple of them have been like, oh, we got, you know. But, you know, they're like, hey, like, you know, thank you for your code, and we went and we ordered this stuff, you know, and that's cool. But I think the thing that goes along with that too is you have to remember, it's hard, you know, it's hard to keep the physical intimacy up in a relationship, you know, for years on end. And I think there's a piece that happens. It's not just getting comfortable with your partner. It's also about the fact that most of us, I think, at the end of the day, just want to put on our jammers and sit down and watch a TV show and eat some good food and be with our partner, you know? So maybe we're not feeling the super sexiest in that moment, you know what I mean? Maybe it's like we don't really, you know, I think it's hard sometimes. I know, like, that was, you know, with Alex and I, one of the things that we really had to work on, and counseling really helped with that. And I think it really also helped with, when I talk about the 12 forms of intimacy, and there's all these different kinds, there's, you know, like, you know, there's recreational intimacy, there's philosophical intimacy, there's family intimacy, which just means like sharing family with each other. You know, there's all these different kinds of intimacy, spiritual intimacy, which, you know, like in our relationship is about us having conversations of his not having any spiritual well-being or spiritual belief system, and me very much having that, and respecting each other. That's a form of intimacy, you know? But the more connected you are through these forms of intimacy, right, the more you want to be physically intimate with your partner, because you so feel connected to them and you so are in love with them that all of a sudden you look at them and you just want to be physical with them, right? You want to share and connect with them on that level. And that's really, I think, the greatest thing that came out of our marriage counseling in the last, you know, couple years, was that renewal of that spark and keeping that alive. I think it's hard to do that. I think it's harder than we want to talk, and we don't want to talk about it. We don't know who to talk to about that, you know? I think it's hard to have those real conversations with your friends and say, like, well, we're not really having sex and I want to have sex, and how do we start having sex again, you know? And I think the reality is that's more true. I think that's more often true than not with a lot of couples. People don't want to talk about that, and we got to talk about that, you know? Okay, I had to pull in here to change my battery because it's like burning up. I remember my mom used to always put her coffee cup up against here. But when I was pulling in here, I was thinking to myself about, I was talking about that red truck that was over here the other day. And I had said something about it like always being there. And somebody commented on my vlog and said, well, maybe they're homeless and they sleep out there. And then I was like, oh, that makes me really sad. Like, maybe that is the case. Like, I had never thought of that before, right? But I don't think that's it, actually. When I was driving around listening to my audiobook the other night, I noticed, I came by here, and it's a wellness medical care center, and they do like physical therapy, and they open like super early. And I was pulling by here through here, and it was like 4:30 in the morning, and or something like that. I don't know what time it was, but anyway, and there were like people walking inside going in there. So I think it's like somebody that just gets here early for physical therapy. But I had never thought of that, and I was like, oh my god, if that's the case, that makes me really sad. So I hope that's not the case. But anyway, I think he just gets here really early for physical therapy over there. Anyway, What was I talking about? Intimacy. Yeah. I feel like I talk about that over here so much. If you guys have never looked up the 12 forms of intimacy, I'm gonna read them to you guys right now. You can Google them and find them. Since it's kind of getting rainy and hard again, I'm gonna like Google them and look them up and tell you what they say. Hold on a second. I'm getting so bad that I cannot see anything without my reading glasses, you guys. Okay. And they're always dirty too. 12 forms. I don't think my Wi-Fi is working right now. Hold on a second. Intimacy. 12 forms of intimacy and connection, it says. Okay. 12 forms of intimacy to explore with your partner. There's so many different articles on this, you guys. Beyond sex, explore these 12 types of intimacy with your partner. When we hear the word intimacy, we often think of sex. And while sex is certainly a very intimate encounter, it is not the only kind. Turns out there are actually 12 different types of intimacy. Come on, ad. These all directly affect not just our level of sexual intimacy, but also our overall feeling of connection with our partner. So it goes in and talks about, I spoke with this person, this clinical sexologist, psychotherapist, author, and consultant to learn more about each type. Recreational intimacy. This type of intimacy is just as it sounds. Dr. Overstreet defines recreational intimacy as you and your partner finding hobbies or interests that you share as a way of further bonding and connecting. When this aspect, is missing in a relationship, it can start to feel monotonous. So for us, like Alex and I, planning traveling, music festivals, watching TV together, having brunch together, going out to dinner together, those kinds of things, right? Okay, intellectual. This type of intimacy is connecting on an intellectual level. It can be discussing a book, an idea, or even what can often be controversial topics like politics or religion. It is a truly intimate experience because it takes trust and vulnerability to share your thoughts and ideas with your partner without fear of ridicule or an argument. And this is actually something that Alex and I do every night before, like when we go to bed, or if he goes to bed and I'm vlogging, is getting ready to vlog, is that we'll lay in bed and we'll talk, and he'll do TikTok sometimes, and we'll talk about stuff that's happened throughout the day, current events that are going on or whatever. I mean, it's not like we have like a history lesson, you know? But I'll be like, hey, did you see this? Or what do you think about that? Or whatever. So yeah. Work. This isn't work in the traditional career sense. Work intimacy is work within the relationship. It involves both partners equally contributing to their lives together, from responsibilities around the house and taking care of children to keeping the family calendar and making plans. So this is like chores together and things like that, right? Okay. She also points out that it is unrealistic to think things will be equal all the time. Okay, so this article is fantastic. All you need to Google is the 12 points of intimacy, and it'll pull this up. Commitment. Commitment intimacy is more than continuously choosing to be committed to your partner within the relationship. It is a mutual commitment to shared goals, values, or working together towards something. And I think for us, like, this was such a huge deal. Like getting to the point where we had like the same long-term goals, because at the beginning of our relationship, I don't know that was true, you know. He wanted to move to Florida, I did not. Now I'm ready to get down there quicker than he is, you know, but like we're both like on the same track for what we want. It's about sharing. It's like both of, you know, having shared long-term goals. Aesthetic intimacy is sharing an experience of beauty together that creates more connectedness. This also will look, I don't remember this one actually. Requires collaboration. Okay, this also will look different for perhaps it's nature, music, art, or theater. I guess it's us kind of like redoing our house together. I don't know. Communication. As you know, communication is key in many other types of intimacy. The hard part about communication intimacy is that you have to be honest. In order to work on any relationship, you must be able to share. Communication intimacy is learning how to communicate with your partner so that they fully understand what you need from them without feeling threatened or degraded. That is what counseling taught us. You know, it's for us to look at each other and say, what I hear you saying is, and then the other person saying, no, that's not what I'm saying, or this is what I need from you, or hey, like this is really important to me, or my feelings are really hurt, or I really love that you did this. We always talk about communication, I think, in negative terms instead of in positive terms as well, where we say things to each other like, I really love that you did this, or, you know, it really meant a lot to me that you did that. You know, I think that's important as well. Emotional intimacy is another big one. Life and relationships come with an array of emotions, and you need to be able to share significant feelings with your partner. Similar to sharing your thoughts in an intellectual intimacy, sharing your feelings with another requires vulnerability. That's something that I'm a really emotional person, Alex was not, and I would say, like, if I was really emotional and he was not, and here was baseline, we're both like here now. And it has like been the number one thing I think that has helped our relationship, that we understand each other on an emotional level. Creative intimacy, this is not necessarily taking an art class together or doing something creative in the traditional sense. Instead, it is helping one another to create the best version of each other. And yes, that's like really super important to us. And then physical sexual intimacy. Now, the obvious type of intimacy, physical or sexual intimacy, but there's actually more to it than the act of sex. Includes sharing fantasies, desires, and discussing what you like and what you don't like without fear of being ignored or attacked. And this is rooted in feeling safe. And this is what I was talking about. Okay, crisis intimacy. Whether you encounter a small or large crisis, the type of intimacy means it brings you closer. There will, of course, be a healing process. This, I think, is when people pass away, when people get sick. It's like bringing you together. And as much as I hate saying this, like my mom passed, or not my mom, Alex wasn't around for that, but my aunt passing away, my uncle passing away, Pee-Pee passing away, Pee-Pee's illness, and us working on that together with the, the medicine. All of those things have really, really brought us together, like in a way that we felt together and alone in that. I mean, not with my aunt and my uncle, because we, Caroline as well, but like the way that he and I reacted to that as a couple, I think, and other issues that I haven't talked on here that have to do with our friends and things like that, has really, really been vital to the commitment of our marriage and the intimacy of it, and sharing and leaning on each other, I think, is so important. Spiritual intimacy. This will look different for different people. It does not need to be based around a religion or church. Spiritual intimacy can simply mean discussing the meaning of life. It doesn't mean you see everything the exact same way all the time, but it means that you can have these discussions in a safe way. That's what I was talking about. And the last one is conflict intimacy. Conflict intimacy means you can have arguments within the relationship, and those arguments actually help the relationship because of how you work through them. So, like for us, wait, let me see if there's anything else. And remember, while you cannot change your partner, you can always change yourself. Completely normal to argue, but it's how the argument is handled and worked through that matters. So, instead of just yelling and screaming at each other, it's like saying, like when you're having the argument, really listening to what your partner is saying, and then saying, okay, from here on out, like, I've heard what you have to say, and I will take that, and I will respect that, and I will be different in the future, or I will be aware of what you're saying, and I will be kind to what you're saying in the future, and I will be respectful of that. I think that's so, so, so important, and I don't think we even talk about as much how important that is to have conversations that way, to respect one another. So, go check out those 12 forms of intimacy. Sit down with your partner and ask your partner and say, like, do we do this? Do we have this? Like, are we being, how many of these are we able to check off? I will tell you, when Alex and I went into counseling, there was like one or two, the spiritual one we could check off, and one or two more. But like, other than that, like, we were not connected at all. And that was why he brought it up, our counselor, and we started working on each one. I would say some more than others were connected on, but I would say all of them were connected on a pretty solid base at this point. And when any of them get less or less than the rest, those are areas that we know that we need to work on. So it's kind of like a checklist to be able to look at those things and say, well, I need to work on this, or I need to work on that. But if you've never checked out that checklist before, go check it out. I think it's important, and I think it'll really help most people. So, yeah. Well, all right, now that I'm ending with that, I want to end with that so that you guys remember that. And I hope you guys are having an amazing Saturday. Do not, I don't know when this will get up. It's taking me like 12 hours to upload a vlog these days. Maybe I'll upload it on my phone, and it'll be quicker that way. Oh, or I could just try to put the thing right into the Ethernet, but it's across the room, so that might be hard. Do not forget that tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the live stream for the book club. It's on YouNow, which is linked below. Please come and join us. All that we ask is that if you've read the book, you're more than welcome to guest. If you have not read the book, which is People Who Eat Darkness, if you've read the book, People Who Eat Darkness, you're more than welcome to guest. If you haven't, we ask that you don't guest, but you can still participate in the comment section, and Karen will bring your points over, and yeah. So I can't wait. I love the book club. We have so much fun on Sundays on that. So anyway, I love you guys so much, and I will see you tomorrow. And I hope you're having an amazing Saturday, and if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. And I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya!